Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is August 18th, 2024 and reports are stating that Ilkay Gundogan would like to go back to Manchester City. Also, Pablo Torre's future is still undecided despite the player being registered as a first-team player. And finally, Andry Cury will be studying the offers that Roque has on the table in order to decide where the future of the Brazilian player lies. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the goal kits, kickback, or fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the bet us. All links are down below in the description. Now, beginning with the news that Barcelona have confirmed that Alejandra Valal is not injured and he will be available for selection for Barcelona's next match. Now, yesterday during Valencia's match, we all got a little bit scared when we saw Alejandra Valal receive that blow to the same leg where he underwent surgery and as a result was out for several months. And we also saw Alejandra Valal limping throughout the field and eventually was being substituted. And after the match, Valal did post on his Instagram account that he was fine, it was all a blow. And well, today after undergoing medical exams, it seems that that was true. Alejandra Valal is not injured, it was simply a blow, and therefore he will be available for selection for Barcelona's next La Liga match. Now, Alejandra Valal did complete the recovery session today with his teammates. He will need some rest. He's not going to be able to do any high impact exercises, but it's important to know that he's not injured and he will be available. And that's very good news because, as we know, Valal will be a very important player for Flick as he continues to count on him and as he wants to turn him into his next Alphonso Davies. Now on to more serious news because it's reported that Ilkay Gundogan would like to go back to Manchester City. Now all of this began during the John Gumper Trophy match where Ilkay Gundogan received the blow to his brow which cut it open and he was bleeding a lot. As a result of this, Barcelona decided to exclude the player from the squad list for the match against Valencia in order to protect him, in order to allow that cut to heal, because that's the kind of cut that can reopen very easily. Also, Gundogan had complained of headaches and dizziness during trainings, so that was another reason that Barcelona decided to protect him and exclude him from yesterday's match. And well, after Valencia's match, Hansi Flick was asked about Ilkay Gundogan, and the German coach did indeed confirm that Ilkay Gundogan was excluded due to injury. Now, all of this did not stop the media from speculating that perhaps Ilkay Gundogan could be on his way out of the club, and that is why he had been excluded from the squad. Because after all, even though Flick did confirm that it was for injury reasons that Gundogan was excluded, he also confirmed that he did have a conversation with the German player, and the media are now speculating that perhaps that conversation might have changed Ilkay Gundogan's mind to stay in Barcelona. Now, this is what Hansi Flick said after the Valencia match. He said, "I think that Gundogan will stay with us. He was not 100% fit to play today. He had some discomfort. I spoke to him, but that stays between us, not with you." Again, focus on the last part because this is the part that the media are using to speculate about the future of the German player. When Flick says, "I spoke to him, but that stays between us, not with you." Now, it seems the rumors is that Flick did speak to Gundogan last Thursday, and some are speculating that perhaps during this conversation, Flick told Gundogan that he was not going to be, a definitive starter like he was during last season, where he was an extremely important player for Xabi, and he pretty much went on to play every match during every competition. And based on that, the media are speculating that maybe Gundogan did change his mind and could be looking to leave Barcelona because, after all, if Pedri does stay healthy, he could definitely take minutes away from Gundogan. Then we have Gabi once he's back from his injury. He's the kind of player that's absolutely untouchable for Barcelona. Then we also have Fermin Lopez, who is on the rise and will be back soon in the team. So given all these players being able to play in the same position that Flick would use Gundogan in, that's where the speculation becomes even stronger that maybe Gundogan, after that conversation, did perhaps think, I'm not going to be getting that many minutes, so maybe it is better for me to leave. Now, that's as far as the player. There's, of course, other reasons as far as the club on why Barcelona would be willing to offload Gundogan, because, again, there are plenty of players that can fill that position. And given that Gundogan has a 15 million euro salary, and Barcelona do have financial fair play problems, you know, getting rid of Gundogan would be a huge plus for the club, because using his salary, using the space that his salary occupies on the wage bill could be then used to register Dani Olmo and maybe even another player. And again, since there's so many players that play in that position, it wouldn't be a big loss for Barcelona. Instead, it would be a gain in regards to the financial fair play. Well, now new reports are coming out of the English media stating that Ilkay Gundogan is reportedly wants to go back to Manchester City. They're stating that during last season, Gundogan had spoken to some of his former teammates at the Premier League club, and he had told them that he had regretted leaving Manchester City and joining Barcelona. And these reports come at the back of the reports from the entourage of the player that say that he's very happy in Barcelona, that he wants to stay in Barcelona. But these English media outlets are saying that that is not true, that the entourage is only saying that, and that in fact Gundogan does regret leaving Man City and that he would like to go back to the Premier League. Now, in my opinion, I'm gonna go off by what I know. I know that the club are confirming that Gundogan's staying. I know that Flick has confirmed that. I know that Gundogan's entourage is also confirming that. So that's the information I have. However, where there is smoke, there is fire. And if there's a lot of media outlets stating now that Gundogan is changing his mind and wants to leave, then maybe there is some truth to that. But one thing is for sure is that it looks like we're going to have another summer transfer market fiasco. As soon as we were done with the Nico Williams fiasco, now the Gundogan fiasco has emerged. So we're definitely going to be hearing about that for the next 2 weeks until the summer transfer market closes. Now, more news, because it's reported that Pablo Torre's future is still uncertain at the club. Now, when Pablo Torre came back from loan from Girona, Barcelona were determined on offloading the player. However, Hansi Flick wanted to try him out during the preseason. Pablo Torre ended up impressing Hansi Flick, and as a result, Flick requested the registration of Pablo Torre, which the club abide by, and Pablo Torre is now registered as a first-team player. But despite the club listening to Flick and despite the player being registered as a first-team player, it's reported that Pablo Torre's future is still uncertain, because even though Flick does want him on the team, Barcelona would prefer to offload him, because since there's a lot of players that can play in that attacking midfield position, some of the names that we just mentioned, you know, Gundogan, Pedri, Fermin, Gavi, and since the club have a big problem with their financial fair play, they see as offloading Pablo Torre as a solution to their financial fair play. And again, since there's plenty of players that can play in that position, it wouldn't be a problem for the club to lose Pablo Torre. Now, we will end today's video with the news that Andry Cury is set to study the alternatives that Vitor Roque currently has on the table, as the Brazilian player is set to abandon the club. Now, Vitor Roque has been called up by the Brazilian national team, the under-20 Brazilian national team to be more specific. He's going to be going to Mexico in September to play 2 friendly matches as the under-20 Brazilian team gets ready for the competition that's coming up in Peru. And despite the player being called up by Brazil, Barcelona still don't count on Vitor Roque for this season. They've already informed the player that they don't count on him. In fact, they have not registered him as a first-team player. And as a result, it's reported that Andry Cury will be studying the multiple offers that the player has to determine where Vitor Roque will end up during this season. Now, Barcelona want to offload Vitor Roque on a permanent basis. They want 30 to 35 million euros. But despite Roque having multiple offers from many clubs, none of them so far are willing to pay that much. So most likely Roque will end up going on loan, or maybe Barcelona will end up accepting a lower price. We're going to have to wait and see, but we're definitely going to have more news about Roque in the next few days. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be uploading another video later on, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Peace, Barça.